state fair.
I've called the presidential process an MRI for the soul, and one of the reasons is that there are these places where you have to face people in a really honest and open way. I've always defended the caucuses, not just because I worked for a president whose ascendancy really began in Iowa, but because I've also worked for losing candidates there. I don't think Barack Obama would have been necessarily elected president if not for the ability to go and make his case, and in his case as an African American, to make his case in a state that was 90% white was actually a certification that yes, maybe America's ready.
You said the time has come to move beyond the bitterness and pettiness and anger that's consumed Washington.
I do think that there needs to be a place in the presidential process where people actually have to intervene, candidates actually have to intervene with human beings and campaign as you would for any other office, where you take people's questions and hear their concerns and actually relate to them as human beings relate to each other. After this early stage in the campaign, that doesn't happen. And I think Iowans take their responsibility very seriously. Anyone who goes to see the caucus process sits through these town halls and living room meetings and all of that. There is a legitimate concern about the diversity of Iowa, which is lacking, and whether Iowa and New Hampshire, as the first two states, are unrepresentative of a growingly diverse country. But you could address that by either having a primary among the first four states so that you'd expand the day to include South Carolina, where 60% of the voting population would be African American, and Nevada, where there's a large Hispanic voting population. Or you can rotate them and start in a different state. But what I wouldn't want to do is go to like a national primary. Super Tuesday is essentially a national primary. I think 16 states are voting on March the 3rd. And so now you're going to get a bunch of tarmac events. You're not going to see candidates really mixing with voters in a serious way. It's all going to be a bunch of photo ops. That's not what we want to do with this nominating process. If you want to change it so that Iowa doesn't always start, okay, but don't throw the whole process out.